is like the fourth freaking video I've done of this. And I'm sorry I have the fan on because it's so hot, so I hope you can hear me okay. But welcome to episode 10. Really excited to have you guys here. Thank you so much for sticking with me, sticking through it all. So this episode I'm going to talk about Space Invaders, which is a song that I wrote 7 years ago. I don't know what it is about the number 7 or 7-year itch or 7-year finish, but it just takes a really long time for some of these songs. I love the bass line, I love the synths, I love the verse, but the chorus was just like I couldn't wrap my arms around it. And I came up with, the first chorus I came up with, like, it was just a very ethereal, like, oh, kind of just flies off into the ether, and it's like it just didn't, and then you're grounded back in the second verse, and it just didn't click. But here's the first version of it. Over the years, I tried different, just like, you know, the song Wait that I talked about in a previous episode. Like, it's just, I kept trying to do different versions of it, and this was another version I came up with where I was trying to do like kind of that drop, the sort of like the retro mid-2000s let the beat drop kind of thing. You're a space invader. And you can see from here, it's like, well, where do you go from here? Like, I didn't like where it went after that. So now what do I do? So again, it was just like trying all these different things. And then I put out a video a couple years ago of this song that I was like, okay, I think this is a better chorus. And you may have seen I put it on IG and I put it on YouTube, and this is here's the video. But it still just wasn't quite the right fit. And this is the thing that I kind of like, it was so interesting. I was watching a live stream of one of my idols, Imogen Heap, and she was talking about how she loves to improvise. That session, she actually improvised for 6 hours straight. It was an incredible experience to just kind of be, you know, a fly on the wall and watching her create. Of course, everything was gorgeous. There was like no wrong note in all her improvisation. But it was interesting because she was saying, you know, this is so much fun, and it's like being in the sandbox and noodling. And I think a lot of us creatives are like this. We could kind of play around all day, but she was like, it's the middle part that's hard. And the middle part is when you've got to like kind of be the adult in the room and start kind of building. And I feel like the song was emblematic of that it was like, I loved what I came up with in the noodling part, but it just, when I was starting to put the blocks together, like, okay, this is the verse, this is the pre-chorus, this is the chorus, it just was like, it wasn't quite connecting. So what I did, and this is again maybe just a theme or I don't know what, but I found an orphan chorus, a chorus that I had written, you know, years and years ago, and I couldn't figure out what the hell to do with it, and I worked really hard trying to come up with a song around it and just everything again just kind of fell flat. And I refound the chorus, going back to find the original Space Invaders tracks, the original, Logic tracks for Space Invaders. And I found this chorus kind of just floating in the ether, and I was like, holy shit, this could totally work. So I added it to the Space Invader chorus, and I was like, Eureka! I finally found it. I finally come home. And yeah, I'm really happy about it. So I'm gonna let you listen in a minute. And I think what's interesting too is like, there's no mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. Everything plays out for a reason. Everything like happens in a certain sequence of events, and some things just have to take years and years to finally, come to fruition. And this song I think is such a great example of that for me, because I can actually use some of the previous chorus or choruses that I've come up with and add it as harmonies, like add it as some interesting background. Even started kind of playing around with it with this version, as background harmonies, or just sort of like little bells and whistles that I can kind of add to spice up the track. And also just sort of the theme of the song. So as I said, it's sort of inspired by Space Invaders, the 80s video game, but it's also this idea of, again, and this may be a theme, you'll be seeing a theme with my dating and relationships in the past, but this idea of like being obsessed or being addicted to a toxic kind of love or infatuation or obsession, and again, feeling infected and feeling like you can't, it's too late, you've already been infected, you can't, there's no way you can leave now, there's no way you can step away, and so that song is kind of about that. And there's a very, obviously like a very dramatic version of it, and I think that's the realm in which we, all of us creatives, play in, right? We're all about the melodrama, we're all about the dramatic, and because nobody, like, we have the day-to-day responsibilities, but this is where we kind of lose ourselves, and we can sort of explore the extremes or explore the really big dramatic highs and lows. And I just, it's like a safe space to kind of play around with that. And so I want the song to intentionally feel like this big, almost over dramatic, singer. It's sort of me taking on a persona almost of like this singer that's, been to hell and back is singing about it. I'm kind of detached from that, I think. That's why I'm describing it sort of in the third person, but there was a time where I was in it. I was in the shit, and I want to convey that. I don't want to convey the song in a detached, clinical manner. I want to be like in the shit. So I guess in a way we're kind of actors as well, aren't we? Playing this part. Because that's what makes it work. We don't want to hear something that's sort of clinical and detached and kind of boring and sterile. We want to feel like the blood and guts. And the other thing is that this song is very, I'm breaking the rules of sort of the pop song formula. The song is not 3.5 minutes. The song is kind of, I'm doing sort of an homage to the old albums of 70s and 80s where it was like the extended version, or songs would go on for like 7 or 8 minutes. And I want to do that because I can, like I actually have, as an independent artist, I don't have a record label or a manager saying, okay, you need to cut this, you need to cut the intro, you need to cut the chorus, you need to like, cut down the pre-chorus. It's like, fuck that. Maybe down the line I'll have to, but for now, I want it to be this really indulgent, long track. And again, I might lose people, because that's the other thing, like especially people, musicians, songwriters, and pop music, they say sort of in this day and age, well, you want to grab people's attention right away, and so if they don't hear it in the first few notes, they're gonna hit forward or select next. And again, I'm kind of like, I don't give a shit because I guess I'm being selfish and being indulgent, but I really do enjoy having this really long, drawn out, you know, the start with this really kind of like almost choppy, awkward voiceover at the beginning, and then this like almost cheesy, it's like the old school vintage electric piano, and then building into the verse. So anyway, I have talked long enough. Here is the verse chorus of I believe the final version of Space Invader. Enjoy. I was the one who always waited second to everyone, just waited. The same, different places, only seem to fan the flames. The Space Invaders come to make its doom. I'm powerless inside a shrinking room. You guys, thank you so much for joining me once again on Summer of Stylite episode 10. So appreciative of all of you. Thank you again for just being there and commenting, and yeah, you guys are just the best. So thank you so much, keeping me honest, keeping me doing this week after week. I hope you're having a great summer. I'm sending you all my love. Take care, and I'll see you next time on Summer of Stylite.